Welcome back. In today's rerun, we have a word, of course, some pivotal developments in transportation, on Earth as well as in space, a song and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for July 20th. July 20th is July 20th is the 201st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 202nd in leap years, with 164 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is pernicious. Pernicious is an adjective that means highly injurious or destructive, deadly. There's also an archaic definition where it means wicked. The word pernicious comes to us from Latin, where it meant ruin or destruction. First known use of the word pernicious is in the 1400s. Pernicious. The word pernicious was suggested by one of my viewers, and if you have a word you'd like me to explore in the Word of the Day section, pop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, we're going to start in the year 356 BC with the birthday of the Macedonian king Alexander the Great. 356 BC. He only lived to the age of 32, and while there are several accounts of the circumstances surrounding his death, most of those stories involve him drinking something, becoming ill for several days, and then dying. Historians, academics, and scientists have studied and debated just exactly how Alexander died, but it is certainly possible and actually quite likely that he was poisoned. On July 20th, 1807, a patent was issued for the world's first internal combustion engine. Its inventor called it a pyreolophore, and it had successfully powered a boat up a river in France against the current. California opened its first freeway on July 20th, 1940. That was the Arroyo Seco Parkway, also known as the Pasadena Freeway. Just a little over 8 miles long, 8.162 miles. One of the oldest freeways in the United States, and it connects Los Angeles with Pasadena. Is named after the nearby seasonal river, Arroyo Seco, which means dry stream. The Arroyo Seco Parkway is designated a state scenic highway and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 2011. Now, we can't talk about July 20th without mentioning the moon landing. On July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11's crew successfully made the first manned landing on our very own moon in the Sea of Tranquility. Americans Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin would then become the first humans to walk on the moon 6.5 hours later. Today's song is Grazing in the Grass by Hugh Masekela, number 1 on July 20th, 1968. This is an instrumental version. That means nobody's singing. It seems that South African trumpet player Mr. Masekela was recording his debut album, and they just so happened to need about 3 more minutes worth of music to complete the album. Best I understand it, they just came up with the tune right on the spot there. Grazing in the Grass was released in the United States as a single in 1968. Hit number 1 on July 20th and held that spot for 2 weeks. Of interest to note, a group called Friends of Distinction recorded a vocal remake of this song the following year, 1969. This version charted in the top 10, but today's story is about Hugh Masekela's instrumental version of Grazing in the Grass, number 1, July 20th, 1968. Link in the description. How about that? For today's quote, we'll quote Neil Armstrong's great line from when he stepped onto the surface of the moon. He did later say that he intended to say that's one small step for a man, one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind, but the A was either lost in transmission or spoken too softly to be heard clearly, So what we have, and what I'm going with, is that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Neil Armstrong. Great any way you slice it, really. Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. No Really. No Really. Consider following my Day in History page on Facebook if you're on Facebook. I also have a Patreon account now, or you can buy me a coffee. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.